Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the FPF Championship Weekend. This is Neil right here with Seth Galena here, ready for the first game of the day. These teams have been here already for about an hour here, warming up, getting ready. Have a little bit of championship experience, but not a lot, which is probably why they showed up so early and nerves are getting the best of them. But they are ready to go almost here. What can we expect here from this game today, Seth?
Yeah, I mean, the nerves are really what you got to keep in check early on in the game. They show up early. You don't want to sit around at home on the couch knowing you have a big game coming up. So you get here early, you warm up. You try and get those nerves out during the warm-up so you're not really fighting them on the first play of the game. And whoever can weather that early is going to be in a great spot going forward.
Yeah, definitely. And, one could almost make the argument that the longer you stay there on the field, the more the tension builds up. And it's really about who's going to make the first mistake here coming on the field, who's going to allow themselves to give that opportunity to the other team, and who's going to be able to take advantage of those opportunities really early here today.
Look, it's two really good teams. Team that finished in fourth place, the team that finished in fifth place in the 5A division. Obviously, two teams that ran through the playoffs, and two quarterbacks who can really sling the ball. Watching them in warm-up right now, they can both sling it. They can both run. It's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, really looking forward to this one. Two very different teams, but two teams that actually have relatively similar records during the season. On one hand, you have the Baby Sharks that they are a football team. They are a football team that has converted to flag, and really they've had some issues concerning defense. Especially, they've let up a lot of points this season, averaging 26.5 per game in the regular season, which has been really a difficulty for them. So see whether they sharpen up on that end. But offense for them has definitely not been an issue, especially extra points. They are 7-1 in one-score games. And in the playoffs, they've gone 3-0 in one-score games. So they've really been excellent on that end in closing out games and really getting the best of them. So if we're looking at a shootout, we're looking at Baby Sharks to have the advantage here today.
We are, of course, hoping for a shootout. We're hoping for a shootout in every game. I'm hoping for big plays. I mean, I think both teams have the capability of making big plays. And that's kind of, look, if you're watching this game, if you're a neutral watching this game, that's what you want to see, right? That's what we are. We're neutrals watching this game, even though we get to talk on the mic. And I like to see big plays, even big defensive plays. Hopefully for maybe a quadruple overtime game or something like that to get us started here on day 2 in Brossard.
Quadruple overtime. You're getting ahead of yourself there. We might fall a little behind schedule if that happens, but certainly I won't be the one complaining.
It would be the first time Flag Plus has fallen behind schedule on a championship weekend.
That's for sure. But hey, if it's for 4 overtime, we'll take it. So listen here, some key players. Looks like Baby Sharks is going to be starting on offense. So some key players for them: Jérémy Laplante, their quarterback, wearing number 42, not the regular numbers you'll see on the website because they had to switch jerseys as colors were too similar. He's been an excellent quarterback this season. Quarterback rating of 102.7, 60.7% completion percentage. 41 touchdowns. 41 touchdowns, really an incredible stat for him. But 10 interceptions to top it off. So got to watch out for that one turnover on average. He's prone 2 per game.
Yeah, his problem is going to be taking sacks, taking 22 sacks on the season. He can run, but he does take a lot of sacks. So here we go.
All right, and Laplante ready to take the snap. It's off. Some hooks and a deep shot right away. And it's batted down. Excellent play there.
Really interesting for Reborn Prospect starting the game in man-to-man coverage. So, quarterback takes his deep shot to his tallest receiver, a little underthrown, but a really great play by the cornerback. Again, starting the game off in man coverage. You honestly don't see that very often in flag football. Usually first play of the game, everyone's playing cover 3, sitting back, seeing what the offense gives you. They went straight up into man-to-man.
And that was Dave just with an incredible play. He was really there step-by-step. Quarterback couldn't have placed it a lot better than that, and it was just excellent. So he takes a snap, back off again, hook, catch, flagged for only for a gain of actually about 7 yards there, so a solid gain on second down. Now, one thing that's interesting to note about this Baby Sharks team is they're an aggressive team. They like to go downfield. They do not have very good statistics on 3rd and 4th. They are 39.6% on 3rd down this season, only 40% on 4th down. So they're a team that likes to get aggressive, and if you're able to contain them and force them to make those small plays, you might see them struggle.
Yeah, so on that play, they played Reborn plays cover 3. They take the hook on the outside against the off corner.
And ready to take it on third down. Big play, looking, rolling out to his right. Running, got the first down and a little bit more as he gets about 2 yards past. And that is a first down for the Baby Sharks. So good reading. Maybe had somebody open, but takes the safe option and gets the first.
Yeah, like Reborn rotates into a sort of cover 2, a classic flag look where the safety will rotate to one side of the field. The backside corner comes over top. And quarterback kind of doesn't see it right away because of the rotation, rolls out, like you said, maybe could have thrown to the sideline, ends up just taking the first down by himself.
Yeah, and if this team has done their due diligence, they will look to avoid the Defensive Player of the Year, number 8, Samuel Omombo. So ready to take the snap on first down, right out to his right, 2 outs, gets it to Louis-Philippe Grenier-Morin. About 7-yard gain on first down, so another good sequence for them.
Yeah, so that now, Reborn settling into cover 3. Like you said, you don't want, if you're the quarterback for Baby Sharks, you don't want to throw over the middle of the field. Sam has so much range. He's such a good player. So settle into your cover 3 concepts, which is like taking the flats, taking those hooks by the outside receiver.
And takes a snap, second down, looks to his left, rolls out to his right. Players moving all over the field, and that's going to be a sack for a loss of about 6 yards. Excellent job by the rusher, containing, nothing downfield. That's a mix of a good play, a coverage sack, but also a great job by the rusher.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like you said, they're a team that likes to go deep. So when you call all hooks, now you have the outside receivers open because, again, it's cover 3. You have off corners. You kind of just got to take it. You got to live with those. You can't go broke taking a profit type of plays, especially as you get closer and closer on the opponent's side of the field. Take those plays, get your first downs, get another shot.
So now we're looking at third and long here, but third and about 10. Looks to his left, again, rolling to his right, sees someone in the end zone, and it's there. What a catch. Head tap. Mossing in the end zone.
Out of bounds.
Oh, they're calling that out of bounds. And that looked like it was really close. Excellent job coming down with that football, but really close. And now we're looking at 4th and 10, so a tough hill to overcome here.
Yeah, so and this it's always going to go back to the same thing, You're 2nd and 4. You have a chance with an easy completion to the sideline to get the first down. Instead, you take the sack, and now you throw to the end zone. It's a close play. It ends up incomplete. Now you're in 4th and about 12, 4th and 14, something like that. To start off the game, you don't want to be not scoring points on your first drive and flag.
Yeah, and that you saw the replay there. That was so close. Just the toe hit the line, but an excellent job. And looks to his left, throws, and that is way over the head of, again, Louis-Philippe Grenier-Morin. So that is his 3rd target already on this drive. And now a big stop for Reborn Prospects as they get to come on and get the chance to reply.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's nothing better than starting your championship game with a stop on defense. The other team takes the ball. They look like they're moving the ball a little bit. All of a sudden, it's 4th and 14. Force them to make a tight window throw, overthrow the receiver, and you get the ball 0-0.
So now we get the chance to see from Samuel Omombo. Of course, he was an all-star this season, but on the defensive side of the field. On the offensive side, we can't say he was too shabby either.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no kidding. 33 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, and a QBR of 107.3. So he looks right away over the middle of the field. Almost looked like he was going to the drag, but right across and gets the first down.
Yeah, right over the middle field. Some spacing issues with the drag coming right in front of the snapper who ends up making the play. But that's a nice completion right off the bat. Some zingy little sidearm action there to get the ball into the snap.
And a quarterback who's able to do that, who's able to get around the rusher and put balls accurately into the middle of the field, that's dangerous for a defense to look at because they can't cheat. They can't cheat to the outside, and they have to really be careful of that middle of the field. So it takes the snap, goes off, looks to run, does run, gets in tight.
Yeah, look, there's going to be plays like that where Sam is just going to take the snap and run. He's a tremendous athlete, and you got to contain that, and it's tough because what you have to do on defense is against a running quarterback is you got to play zone, so you got to have eyes on the quarterback. But once he breaks contain, once he gets outside like that, if you're the flat defender, you're in a kind of a no-win situation where do I stay back in my zone, cover the receiver? Do I come up on the quarterback? And right there, stays back, and then Sam makes a play. Here's trips.
Yeah, so we got Trips on his right. Now he's looking. Flat route to the left. Back of the end zone. And that is going to be out of bounds.
Yeah, so they go trips here. First time we've seen trips by either team this game. Baby Shark stays 2-on-1 on the backside. So Sam says, all right, you want to double my ISO? I'm going to go to the field. A little late. Has a receiver in the back of the end zone a little earlier. Maybe just didn't see it over some of the defenders. Baby Shark's kind of a tall team, especially down here in the red zone. So doesn't see it. And we have an incompletion. They're going to go trips again.
Yeah, and that's a classic play. You'll see somebody getting out in the flat, somebody getting in the back of the end zone. You want to destabilize the middle of the field. So it takes his left, right over to the flat. Is he in? Yes, touchdown. And that's going to be number 1, JJ Fortuna, who does lead this team in touchdowns and catches, so only fitting that he gets the first touchdown of this game in this championship final.
And that's playing red zone defense, playing goal line defense and flag, really difficult. We always say, you know, make them throw over our heads, but you take that one step back, the ball's going to be caught in front of you, and all that receiver has to do is make one move. Now, he makes a good move to get into the end zone, but we do have the referees talking. We'll see what the call is here. Looks all right.
I think they were perhaps talking about whether that pass was caught behind the line of scrimmage. Looks like they're not going to settle for anything, especially if there's no challenge that's been made. It didn't look to me like it was, but at the same time, you know, all you have to do is get a couple of inches after the line of scrimmage, and it's a good catch. So really difficult to play. So Trips to his left again, is looking, sees a flat route, wide open, and that's the conversion right there.
Yeah, and it's the same idea. Like, so now instead of the flat defender or like the halfback to the trip side, it's the corner. Plays a bit off. Now you understand it because the corner sees the number 1 and the number 2 receiver released down the field. He's not thinking, oh, that number 3 is coming all the way to the pylon, so he plays off, and then you know, the ball's caught in front of him. Tough play.
Somewhat surprising, you know, this is a team that's been very poor on extra points throughout the regular season. 31% on extra points for 1 and 25% on extra points for 2, whereas the Baby Sharks are 50 and 50 respectively. Pardon me. So Laplante takes a snap, looks deep, gets the hook right there, and that will be a first most likely, if not just a couple of inches short. They're giving him the first.
Yeah, nice throw. And that's where the ball needs to go for Baby Sharks to move the ball. You're getting cover 3, and then you're going to get more cover 3, and you're getting even more cover 3. So where do you throw the ball in cover 3? Underneath the corner who's dropping. It's going to be there. And they have some size advantages, especially on the outside with the 2 receivers. So that's where the ball should go.
And oh my God, the receiver picks it off, and that is going to be 6. What an excellent play. Solon takes it all the way to the end zone for 6. I've never seen that happen.
That is as good of a play from a rusher as you can get. And, you know, the quarterback, he's throwing to the right receiver. Again, cover 3, safety's deep. Throw the ball underneath to your snapper. You just got to get it over the top. He doesn't get it over the top. Right into the snapper's hands, who makes a great play, and then a great play after to avoid the tackle and get into the end zone.
The amount of focus you need to have to come down with that football, because obviously he juggled it. Who would not juggle it? That is a laser beam right into his hands. The focus you need to have to come down with that football is incredible. So how soon are we going to start talking about a potential rusher MVP here?
I'm voting for rusher MVP already.
Trips left for the extra point. See someone in the back of the end zone. He is there. Good pass defended.
And that is great play on the goal line. That is how you do it on the goal line, where you're going to have, okay, let me play the goal line first, and then let me feel with my eyes. And that is such a great play. You see him get a hand on the ball.
Yeah.
Let that route go away from me, so that number 3 receiver goes away from me to the flat. Okay, I feel it. I see the eyes of the quarterback. I drop back knowing that ball is going to be in the back of the end zone. Really great play.
Was a bit of a late throw. If he had come out just a couple of inches more, that would have been a completed pass in the back of the end zone. And so they look to recover after that one. Flat route out to the left, and that's caught for about 4.
And you can see right away, like, okay, I just threw an interception to the rusher. So what's my next cover 3 beater? Well, it's triple slants. Get the ball to the flat, get some yards, give me a completion. Like, it's such a bad taste in your mouth when something. I won't say it's fluky. It's a great play by the rusher, but it's obviously not something that happens a lot in flag. So just go there and get a completion and kind of calm yourself down.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, fluky, you got to be lucky to be good. You got to be good to be lucky. It's how it works. So he's looking deep, rolls out to his right, has a lot of room to run, gets running, and just shy of the first down.
Yeah, nice play on the run there. Spacing issues to the left of the quarterback. He had the snapper and the slot kind of near each other, so he looked that way. All of a sudden, too close for comfort for him, so he just takes off and runs. Like I said, he can run the football and get some yards that way. We've seen 2 really nice runs so far.
Yeah, and a first half is always destabilizing for an offense that's used to doing things one way, and the defense knows what they're doing. So takes a snap, looks to his left, it's not there, and good open route. Good deflagging right there. He was almost free and open in the open field, and they're going to get the first down.
Yeah, nice play. Again, he doesn't have what he likes right away. His receiver makes a nice adjustment right over there as the quarterback's running. Just slide. The quarterback's sliding one way, you slide with him, and they get the first down.
Yeah, defense definitely knew what they were doing there. They were letting him run. Because he couldn't. He had just run the play before. They knew exactly what they were doing, but a good adjustment on the route to go and shuffle to get open. So almost takes a snap. Laplante takes a snap, high snap, looks to his left, his right's not there, goes deep, and cannot come down with it.
Yeah, again, another corner route. Don't love corner routes versus cover 3. Obviously, they have a little bit of a height advantage there with that receiver on the corner, but you're going to throw that late into a cover 3 corner on the corner route. Tough to make the completion. Obviously, the guy came down with it on the last drive, though he was out of bounds. Tries it again, and a great play by the corner.
Yeah, that was a really good job by JJ Fortuna there, getting up and high and right in the hands. And that's really been his safety net all game is Louis-Philippe Grenier-Morin. So he takes a snap, looks to his right, right just above. Really tough. Again, he was open. He would have had that first down, perhaps at least maybe a couple inches.
Yeah, and there it is again. So they run, again, the corner out from the slot. Now he's like, all right, well, I've thrown this corner out twice. That corner has kind of been there both times and made a play on the ball both times. Let me show that corner out again, and I'm going to run my outside receiver on a hook route, a little deeper hook route, I would say. It's not just a 6-yard hook or a 5-yard hook. That was like an 8 or 9-yard hook. Just got to get the ball to him.
Yeah, so the key here is really just don't get panicky, don't get stressed out, don't try to force balls anywhere. Take what they give you and keep pushing. And the flag is going to be thrown there. Great touchdown. A really big catch there. Got caught looking at that play. It was a great throw, a great read. He was right there in the flat, comes right back up. And that is a tough adjustment for JJ Fortuna to make, and he hits him going down. That was Louis-Philippe Grenier-Morin. So I think that's his 7th target of the game. So he's really been getting looked at so far. And I think the referees are discussing whether that's going to be a major penalty or not, which could have a big impact on what we see here on the conversion decision.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that for sure, that's a penalty for illegal contact, and it probably will be a 2-pointer from the 1-yard line, I would assume. We can't hear the refs, unlike us, are not mic'd up. So
you wish they were mic'd up.
I don't have it, but I do think that's probably a 2 from the 1. Or not exactly sure. Anyways, on that play, again, like you know, as a quarterback, you have your repertoire, your cycle through of cover 3 beaters. Post wheel, one of the classic cover 3 beaters. The corner takes the kind of the bait on the post route, and then you put a zipper of a ball in there to the pylon on the wheel route.
Yeah, and Laplante, you know, that was great poise by him. He stood there, and that's a long route that takes to develop. And it's interesting because that's the type of route you wouldn't necessarily be throwing to in a situation where you're stressed, you're down by 13, you've already thrown a pick. But he stood there, he waited for that route to develop, he knew when it was going to be open, and that was great timing by him. So that's 2 from the 10-yard line. So he's looking back of the end zone, and that one was not there, just a bit high. So what do you think that the outcome of that referee discussion was?
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I thought for sure that was a penalty. And they might do something where they take the penalty on this drive that's about to start, though it doesn't look like it. So maybe it just wasn't a penalty. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, that's a really surprising call. I mean, I thought for sure that was going to be a penalty. Really, the argument was whether it was a major or a smaller penalty. But he really came in late and hit him almost. But I guess it's not a penalty. They're starting from the 10. So Mombo takes a snap, looking, pump fakes, goes deep. He is there. That's going to be a pick. And that is the quarterback, Laplante, getting a pick. So touchdown and then a pick for him as he is bringing his team back into this game.
What a play. And so it comes back, Sam comes back, he says, okay, what was my first play in the last drive? Okay, I'm going to look for that drag by the backside slot. I'm going to look for my snapper on like a 10-yard hook. Looked like it was probably there. He doesn't like it. Throws the ball late down the field. And a great play by 42.
And so they're going pretty fast here as the clock seems to be winding down towards the second half. So Laplante takes a snap, looks to his left, throws the hook, and a great catch, great focus catch as Nathaniel Dinku was coming in hot, trying to make a play on that ball. Just his fingertips must have just grazed the ball there.
And then that's the thing, right? This is the cat and mouse game. So now you're the, the slot defender, the halfback to the nickel to that side, whatever you want to call it. He's seen that hook so many times. He baits him into throwing it, gets a fingertip on it, almost gets the pick.
So he takes a snap, looks to his left again, pump fake, wanted the deep, but they were not being fooled. Looks to his left, and the sack is made. And going back to that hook, defenders, once they get used to seeing what those reads are, is he going deep, is he playing in the hook, especially when they're dropping safeties back, it becomes cat food for them. I mean, I've had the chance to play with some great flat defenders. Shout out Jeremy Peasy, who love to see those hooks come in and are able to make those reads. So it's really difficult, and he's going to have to make those throws with the same timing he made it earlier if they want to keep him running that play. So now coming to third and about 5, looks to his left, right over the middle, slant, juggled, caught. Good play, good focus to make that catch throw. Was a little late.
That's he's going to put it behind him because he just threw the pick to the rusher. He's throwing over the middle of the field, and he's throwing from, as a righty to the left side. So it's really, the angle isn't really good. So he just has to know, I'm going to put the ball on the receiver. I'm not going to put it in front of you. It's not a great angle for that, but he does. The receiver makes a great play, and they get the first down.
So far, pretty decent job from a team that's struggled on 3rd and 4th down so far with those short plays. That's not something they're used to, but now they seem to be settling into a rhythm and taking what they're giving them finally. So looks to his right after taking the snap. It's there, too high, could not get his man on the sideline. So a missed throw there. That was Max Sharkoui, which I believe is the origin of this team's name. They got 2 brothers, Max Sharkoui and Alex Sharkoui, so the baby sharks.
Love that. Love any type of flag name that's clever and maybe a pun. This isn't necessarily a pun, but we love puns here.
So this is going to set up 2nd and 10. So far, vast majority of the target share has been given to Louis-Philippe Grenier-Morin, but he is on the sideline right now. So Laplante takes a snap, looks to his left, easy hook route, and gets about 6 or 7 on that one. So a lot of timing here, and you see Reborn Prospects looking to maybe shake things up here in their coverage because now finally the Sharks have realized that they got to take what they're giving them. So looks to his left, not there, rolls out to his right, back in the end zone, touchdown! Flexing, hand slapping, and that was a beautiful route, beautiful play by Laplante to put the ball exactly where it needed to be, and that was Max Sharkoui. Missed him before, has him now.
Always tough to deal with a running quarterback. Always tough to deal with a running quarterback. So you have Sam Amumbo playing safety. He squats a bit, given that the play is kind of close to his own goal line, squats a bit. They take care of everything on the initial play. It's that second reaction play where the receiver keeps coming across the field behind all the defenders, behind Sam, and quarterback makes a nice throw.
And the reality in flag is you don't even have to be the best passer in the world if you're mobile enough to get away from the rusher. You just have to be an okay passer. But in this case, he's able to put the ball on the target, throwing those dimes and getting his man in the back of the end zone on timing. That was a beautiful throw. So they are going for 1, takes a snap, looks to his left, has the out route, and that is in for 1. So this game is now tied 13-all after a violent, aggressive start from the Reborn Prospects. The Sharks have climbed and clawed their way back into this one.
This has been a great turn of events for Baby Sharks. They go down the field, they score. In one play, they get the interception, and then they kind of matriculate down the field here in the 2-minute drill with some really nice throws. He does miss one throw earlier in the drive, but really, really great play by the quarterback.
And so now we are in pro clock. So Reborn Prospects have 1 minute and 10 seconds to drive down this field and try to get up. So really important drive here for them. If they can go up a score going at half, they do get ball back. So really, really important for them here. So 4-second play, little hook on the sideline, gets him out of bounds. Good job by him.
It's like William got up.
And just a reminder for all our fans here, so this is the new rule in Flag Plus football. So now instead of the 5 plays at the end of each half, have 2 minutes of pro clock. So it works like the pros. If you get out of bounds, the clock stops until the next snap. If you get the first down, it stops until the huddle is broken, until the whistle is off. So snap is taken. Pump fake. Looks there again on the sideline hook. Cannot get out of bounds, but does get the first. Oh, I think they are saying he was a little short.
No, first down.
No, they're going to give him the first. But right at the first, that doesn't even look like they're going to move that other cone.
So this is an interesting. I'm not the type that really plays with the clock too much when I play, but like this is an interesting scenario where you kind of want to run some clock because you are getting the ball. If you're a Reborn Prospect, you're getting the ball in the second half.
Exactly. So right over there to the center, and that's a drop. That is a poor drop, but at least it stops the clock now. So they're faced with 2nd and 10 with 48.6 seconds to go on this one.
Yeah, I think, look, when you're in the Division 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, you just want to score. Like, I talk about like kind of manipulating the clock a bit. At this point, you probably just want to score and then play some defense with about 30 seconds left or something like that, and then get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, definitely, though, a team you don't want to be giving the ball back to in a Hail Mary situation is Baby Sharks. But he looks back over to center, and a low throw. He's not able to handle that one. So second target in a row for Charles-Émile Dereau, and he's not able to come down with it as that one was low and hits the ground. So 3rd and 10 now. Interesting play call decision here. Are they aggressive? Are they try to get some yards and go for it on 4th?
I think after 2 drops, you're going to see Sam take the snap, buy some time, and try and find a target late. Try and beat the rusher and find a target late. This is an important play in this game.
They still got 45 seconds, so takes a snap, looks again to his center, but this time is able to make the catch. So Dereau with the 3rd target in a row, and they are going, referee is pondering his decision right now.
Looks like a first down.
Looks like a first down. So great job extending that ball by Dereau. You saw he stuck that out really at the last second, and that looks like it was the deciding factor in giving them first down. So they are still, though, outside of the red zone. So Omombo can run. Clock is ticking with 30 seconds. You might see him run.
Yeah, so now I would say, like, probably just want to chill a bit. He's going to take the snap, though.
Oh, that is a tough break. That is a tough break. But on the plus side, they are still outside of the red zone. So it's
now
not
the clock
as if
should be running. Yeah,
seconds.
the clock should be running. So 23 seconds, 22 seconds.
And I don't think he knows. He just looked back. So he's lining up quick.
Yeah. Oh, this is a lot of time off the clock.
This is not good. This might be the last play of the half. And he's looking. He's going quickly. And he will get one more play with 1.5 seconds left on the clock. So a really poor turn of events. Did not look like the team was aware that the clock was running until they looked back and decided they needed to scramble. But a really tough break there on the drop snap. Snap was high, but it did hit him right in the hands. So it's not something you can afford to do as a quarterback. So a tough break here.
Yeah, they had the chance to kind of double down here with the score at the end of the half and then getting the ball to start the second half. Now, it's not what we get. Chance for almost a Hail Mary. I mean, they're out midfield, so it's not quite a Hail Mary, but we'll see what they can come up with here.
So Sharks showing cover 3 right off the bat. Looking over the middle of the field. Goes there, tries to get the catch and run. Oh, and almost got there. Stopped at the 2, and that is going to close out the half. So the touchdown is not good, and we are going to go into this half After a very strong start by the Reborn Prospects, it is now tied 13-13 after a big pick and touchdown from the quarterback Laplante.
And you know what? I actually kind of like the play call on that last play they have, getting your, I guess it's probably one of your faster receivers across the field. Let him catch, let him catch the ball moving forward. The ball was a little behind him. They're not a very tall team, so maybe that Hail Mary jump ball was not in the cards for them. So find a different way, and they got really close, man.
Well, yeah, and especially when you're going against this Baby Sharks team, I mean, even if they weren't in bounds on a lot of those jump balls, they have come down with the football a number of times, and that can be a play they might look to go back to. They might just make some adjustments on those routes, on the depth of those routes, and go back to the jump ball.
Yeah, I think looking forward towards the second half, Reborn is going to start with the football. They've moved the ball well, just some self-inflicted wounds. I mean, they throw a pick when really probably didn't need to throw a pick. You let the ball go through your hands on a snap when you're on the 10-yard line. So they've been playing well. They just gotta eliminate those mistakes. And then on the other side, like I've been saying, we've certainly seen a lot more plays from Baby Sharks. They've been on the field on offense a lot more. Just got to keep it simple. Got to get some of the throws down, but it looks like the quarterback's starting to find a rhythm underneath, and then take your opportunities down the field. Maybe another post wheel, maybe something like that. You just don't, like we said, you don't really want to go towards the middle of the field too much with Sam there. But other than that, flat routes, hook routes on the outside, they've been working.
Yeah, and if you want to go back to that pick play from Reborn Prospects, that was a really just a questionable decision, a questionable play. He pump faked to his left sideline and then was looking there. Seemed like he took that decision really at the last second and then overthrew it. Don't really know what he saw there because there wasn't much. That being said, he really does need to trust himself. He needs to go through this game. Reborn Prospects, it's very easy to say now that they came out with the advantage. They came out, they destabilized Baby Sharks because their defense was playing strong and not letting anything get over the top, with the exception of that out-of-bounds catch at the goal line. But right now, the Baby Sharks have the momentum. They have the advantage, especially with that big stop in the second half.
My understanding of what happened on the interception is really just you have the snapper who caught the ball on the first play of the game. He didn't want to go back to the snapper on the first play of the second drive. So he doesn't go back to him, waits, throws the ball late. And then what you saw happen after that was him saying, I'm going to go to the snapper. He's open. And he went 3 straight times to the snapper on almost the same play, not quite, but almost the same play. And even though I said he wasn't going to do it for the third time in a row, he does it for the third time in a row on that last drive, and they get a completion for the first down. Unfortunately, the next play was the snap over his head.
Yeah, and the thing about the Baby Sharks is they don't have the greatest structured defense, but they are very, very good athletes, so you can't take a chance on those kind of deep routes. So quarterback takes off running, and looks like he will be just shy of the first. So about 3 yards shy
of the first, but maybe a flag guard. Now, there's going to be a flag guard.
That was a really interesting choice because it seemed like the rusher took a step forward and then jumped back.
Yeah, I think on plays where the rusher comes offside, you don't want to run right away. I get it. It looks enticing because the rusher just turned his back to you, and you're like, well, if there's no rusher, let me just run. But I think that's a situation where you want to buy time in the backfield and let a receiver come open like we saw from Baby Sharks early in the game. So just a little bit of a mistake. And now not only did you get the rusher offside and that didn't kind of come to fruition in terms of yards, you get 9 yards, you go back 5. So now it's really just a second. It's almost like you gained 2 yards on that rush.
Yeah, so right now they're looking at 1st and 5, I believe is the call. So it looks to his left, flat route from the slot, and the flag is likely, the flag. They're calling the flag on the offense. It seemed like more incidental than intentional, but he did get low, tried to sink the hips, almost looks like, and then slammed his shoulder right into the chest of Grenier-Morin. Right
I
there.
mean, you look at the replay, the defender, the corner playing that trap coverage has his feet set when the ball is caught, and it is, it certainly wasn't on purpose by the receiver to to cause any contact, but the DB had his feet set, and I guess that's a charge.
Yeah, it definitely is. So right now, ready to take the snap is Amombo. Wants to make something happen. Already 2 minutes off the clock in this second half. So pumps deep down the sideline, and that's a catch. And that is going to be 6 for the Reborn Prospect. So a missed tackle by Max Shakarwi after the original catch on the sideline, as a fast cut inside was to the player that you said was very, very, very quick at the end of that first half. That was Kevin Joseph, and he walks in for 6. Now they retake the lead 19-13.
And Sam said, "Oh, you want to trap the flat with the corner? No problem. I'll throw over his head. Big play." And that is such an back-to-back plays with a penalty. So you're starting the second half kind of going backwards, or at least in neutral. And he says, "Yeah, I just saw what you did. I dare you to do it again." They did it again, and he made him pay.
Yeah, and a really impressive throw. He was open, but that's a difficult throw to make when you're working on levels, on a levels concept at the sideline. It's a really impressive throw to be able to get that over the corner's head. So it takes a snap on the 1-point convert, and that one's going to be a false start.
It's just self-inflicted. Another penalty. That's 3 penalties on this drive, and we'll see if they can. You take 3 penalties on a flag drive, and you still have a chance to get all 7 points. You're playing with fire, but I mean, this is a good team and they can handle it.
Yeah, and reminder, he still cannot run even though they backed up to the 10-yard line, because it is still a 1-point convert. So it takes a snap, crossing concept, looks deep, and almost picked off, but was open for a half a second, but good job breaking on that football by Grenier Morin, and that will be no good. 19-13 Prospects.
Yeah, they tried to get him on a wheel kind of corner type thing, sitting at the goal line. It's tough, right? Like, this is 2-point conversions in this league are really tough. You don't have a lot of time to throw, and a really good play by Baby Sharks defense.
And so we haven't seen yet any drop back of a second quarterback at all. You would think you might have, on a second touchdown, but clear that these teams are confident in their quarterbacks. So Laplante ready for his first drive of the second half with about 5 minutes off the clock. Looks to the left, quick out route, and that'll be a first down.
And so these are the plays, these are the parts of the field where, again, they got to keep attacking. You put a tall guy in the slot, and then you let him go one-on-one against a smaller player. It's cover 3. The half to that side has to take the out route, 6-7 yards. Always going to be in a bad position, especially if he's inside leverage to start. Easy completion.
And that's the threat of having those extremely talented and fast wide receivers on the outside, because the corners have to give space. So rolls out to his left, low throw, no good.
Yeah, so he wants the center there. Again, he's like, man, I know it's cover 3. I know the safety's playing deep. I want to throw to my center. But after the pick 6 by the rusher early in the game, unless it's wide open, he doesn't trust it so much, and that's causing him to roll out and have to make a throw on the run, which he throws low. So really, when he's calling all hooks, he really has to say, okay, I'm going to read one side of the field. Unless he's super comfortable throwing over the snapper, he's just got to read one side of the field, throw the hook to the outside.
So second and 10. Laplante ready to take the snap. Corner logs defense again. Wide open. Oh, a bad drop. A really bad drop, as he could have taken that one for about 8 yards. So they're playing a corner logs defense right now, but even the halves gave a lot of space, which allowed him to shuffle under.
Yeah, so you see what happened is, again, corner log, cover 3, similar type of idea here. Because that the offensive right halfback played off, because he's afraid of that deep out route, that drag coming across the middle is wide open, but he makes a drop.
So 3rd and 10 here, big play, lines up, same exact play, has room to run. The flag was not taken, and a big first down, as diving for the flag was Keldon Kochi, and he was not able to make that play. He's shaking his head, going back to his defense right now. That could have been a big tackle for him, but he just missed. Great mobile hips by Sharkawi, and they get the first.
Yeah, so you go back to the same thing that works. Like, yeah, we had a drop on the last play. Who cares? We're gonna attack. We're gonna key off the right halfback or the right nickel, and that's what they're doing right now. This whole drive has been keying off the right nickel.
So first and goal, not yet red zone. Looks again to snapper. Back of the end zone, was there a little bit of contact, no call, and that's going to line up second and goal.
And that's great coverage, right? Once the left slot kind of runs in, if you're the corner to that side, you become one-on-one. I mean, it becomes man coverage. So that is great coverage by the corner on that side.
Yeah, really excellent job. Broke immediately onto the outside and was able to make a play there. So now we have second and goal, pardon me. Still not red zone. So we'll see what Laplante has cooked up. Perhaps might even try to get some running in. They have been playing relatively deep, so he would have some room. So takes the snap. Again, looks like corner locks, has a man on the flat. Not quite in, but down to the 2-yard line, or even perhaps one. No, they're going to call it about the 2-yard line. And so that's going to line up third and goal. So big sequence here.
So, look, whenever he needs a play, he's just going to attack. You know, he looked to the left, and when he comes back to the right, that's what he has right now. It's like that. It's the right flat. That's going to be there for him the whole game, and this becomes a really important play here.
And against corner locks, you really want to try to run something like a smash where you get those, I would say. So looks his left. Juggled once, juggled twice, and cannot get in. And that is going to be fourth and goal. So was going really quickly. Pass was just a little bit behind him.
Again, he's attacking the same player. So now they line up in press man. Maybe early in the game, he saw something that said, hey, they're going to play man here close to the goal line. What do you do against man close to the goal line? Press man. You run a guy across the field. Should have been a touchdown. Throws it a little behind. And instead, here comes the play of the game right now.
Yeah, this is a huge play. Opportunity to tie or even go up, pending the extra point here. But fourth and goal from the 2. First, they got to score. So showing man, takes the snap. Not man, looking like lanes. Rolls out. And that's a sack. Turnover on downs. And first down, Reborn Prospects. He is having himself a game.
I got to see the replay. I think they, so he runs the same play. He runs across the field. But I think the left nickel stays off. There it is. Yeah, so what happens is he runs the drag just like he did the last time. He expected the offensive left nickelback to run with his slot. He doesn't. He stays on the goal line. So now that the drag isn't there, and then you end up with a sack.
That was, again, an excellent play by the rusher, but tremendous coverage in the flats. I know he's taking off. Hook on the outside, and he's going to get there. Touchdown. Nathaniel Dinku, and he just made this a 2-score game for the Reborn Prospects.
I would think about challenging this if I'm Baby Shark. This is such a big play, and it looks like they might be challenging it. Whether that ball hit the ground, if we have a good angle.
That looked like his foot did touch the sideline,
Yeah,
so we're going to get a chance at a replay.
Whether the ball hit the ground or whether he steps out of bounds. Look, you don't have a choice. You're about to go down 2 scores when there are 10 minutes left. Certainly capable of mounting a comeback. In flag, down only 2 scores, but this is too big of a play.
So that question is whether that foot, the second
I don't
foot,
know,
he put
man.
one
I don't know.
that looked in bounds, and then the second came off the pivot. We don't have the best angle here to see whether the ball touched the ground. Really difficult because it's on the opposite hash. Really difficult play to call here. It doesn't look like we would get conclusive evidence. Of course, because the call on the field was a touchdown, it has to be conclusive. So we're looking down. I don't see anything that could overturn
I don't think
this.
you can overturn it. And then, like you said, I don't think the foot steps out either.
So he puts that 1 foot there, plants it.
We lost the replay, but I don't think. I think this might be a touchdown.
I think they're calling this. I think they're challenging that the ball hit the ground.
The ball, yeah.
Because you have to specify what you are challenging.
But either way, I think it's a catch, and a touchdown, and a big play. Like, you have Baby Sharks taking, it felt like 10 plays, 12 plays to get down the field in one play. Here comes Reborn.
And yeah, obviously a really difficult, and this is a tough situation to challenge in, because if you don't get it, suddenly you're down a timeout, you have no more challenges left, and you have to mount a 2-score comeback with only about 9:45 left on the clock. So really a difficult situation for them. So yeah, they really are looking at whether this ball hit the ground. But again, very, very difficult to tell, especially because the defender is right in front of him trying to go for that flag.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're ever going to have a good enough angle.
But also the question could be whether he was down when the defender touched him.
If he got touched, yeah.
If he got touched. Because that would make him down, or down by contact, if you would. And that would flip the play. So they could be looking at that as well.
Getting the call right now. Down by contact.
Down by contact. There you go. The call at the end was right. We were debating two things and then finally came up with a third, and it was the third. So a huge break here
play
for the Baby Sharks as they come up clutch, and they keep their challenge. Reminder, they do keep their challenge.
And they keep the challenge. They keep the 2 timeouts. Now they're still okay with 1 timeout because you need the 1 timeout for the Hail Mary. But again, still a 1-score game. The whole dynamic of the game just changed on that call, right? Like, going from 25-26 to 13 back to 19-13, and it's not even a first down; it's a second down.
Yeah, it's a second down and 4.
There's a lot of game to play right now.
At what? What is that? The 20-yard line maybe. So they still got a lot of field to cover, and the offense is now no longer in rhythm. So he takes it, looks to his left, throws to his left, and that's a first down. More broken tackles, and they will get the first past midfield.
Yeah, complaining about a flag guard, but it's the guard is on the wrong side of the referee, so tough play for the referee to see that a little bit, but bad angle from the ref on the wrong side of it.
Yeah,
keep it simple though. Yeah, but that's a really simple play. Get your slot in the flat, get a completion. Now you got a first down. Now you're good. You're good again. Now I will say Baby Sharks, they can't allow 2 minutes off the clock and then allow a touchdown.
So looking, Russia's giving him space, throws over the middle field, completes over the middle of the field, and that could have been a pick, risky throw, but...
And they still get the first down out of it.
Yeah, they still do, and Olivier Saint just had a chance to make a play on that ball, just wasn't able to get his head across in time. Crossbody throw just wasn't quite there, and now they get the first down, first and goal.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying before, like all of a sudden, like if you're Baby Sharks, you don't want to, obviously you never want to allow a touchdown, but you allowed a touchdown, quote unquote, on the first play. There was still 9 minutes left. Now you might allow a touchdown and there's only going to be like 6 minutes left, and that's not
looking,
good.
and he's looking to run. Almost, and that was a jump. I'm surprised they didn't call that.
Could have been a jump, that's for sure. I think that was a jump. Still got to make the tackle for sure. It would have been a big play to get a sack there.
Because they were right outside of the red zone. And yeah, so he takes off to the left, goes, and that is a jump. So he gets an extra 3 yards out of that play. So that is a tough
Yeah,
break
not
for
only
Baby
should have been
Sharks.
a sack, I mean, obviously the penalty would have pushed them back a few yards. Ooh, that's a tough break.
Especially because he had his hand on that flag. That's another 3 yards. It wasn't as if he jumped in the middle of nowhere. That would have been about 3 yards back for them. So now they are on the...
Here's trips again. They're going to try and get the number 2 in the back of the end zone.
So
yes, it
flat
is.
Back in the end zone.
Bang.
Touchdown! Going back to the same man, that's JJ Fortuna.
I get it. Like I just said, that's what's going to happen. It's a lot easier to say it when you're up here in the booth and you're not down there playing. But clearly, when he goes trips, that's his play, and especially because Baby Sharks keeps doubling the ISO receiver, which is fine. They're allowed to do that, but you got to have a better plan to the trip side. Here it is again.
So yeah, right again, trips again. So they have the flat and the hook in the back of the end zone. So looks, and it's the same play.
Same play. He's going to get him again.
Same guy, same result.
Yeah, same result. Though I would say this is the difference is he's not there. He's not there during like the structure of the play. Sam makes a great play to move the rusher, and then he finds him in the back of the end zone, because it's actually a great play by the guy who's covering the snapper to begin with. He actually makes the play and gets in the window, but then the rusher can't get the sack and we get the conversion.
And the problem with playing 5 lanes is when you're playing zone coverage, you can't, even if he doesn't put a lot of height on that ball to get over your head, you don't know where the guy is behind you, so you can't anticipate breaking on that ball as easily in zone coverage. So now, Laplante is ready to take the snap. Looking deep. Goes deep. That's a seam, and that's, almost a pick. That is a dropped pick right there by Omombo.
Yeah, he's just laid on the seam to the backside because, he reads the safety well to start the play. The safety goes to his left. You can see it right there. He just got to go a little earlier, and I think that ball actually got tipped. Now that I look at it, I think the ball got tipped, which is why it kind of came back to the middle of the field and allowed Sam Omombo to, like I said, he opens to the quarterbacks to the offense's left and then is able to get back because I think the ball's tipped.
Yeah, and it was really an excellent job by him breaking on that ball, but the quarterback also put that really inside. That one was going straight down the middle when he should have really been putting it more on the outside. So 2nd and 10,
All
ready
hooks,
to take the
all
snap.
hooks or triple slant? Oh,
Looks.
nothing.
Deep grab and wide open on the flat. Tries to take off running to the inside. And there's some frustration there on the defense as JJ Fortuna was talking to his man saying you needed to be there on that corner. Looked like some miscommunication defensively.
Yeah, you can see on the replay the nickel over there that they've been picking on a bit. He plays way too far inside. Especially you're in cover 3. You have a safety behind you. It's a seam route. You can let that go and then come off to the outside.
Yeah, so Keldon Kochi still short. Looks to his left. There's a wheel route available, and that was just a poorly thrown ball. And they're gonna say that that's a PI.
Certainly not the best read by the quarterback.
Wow.
Gets bailed out by the flag. He had the wheel route wide open. And again, the post is not a play you want to run against. The post is not a throw you want to throw against the way that Reborn plays defense with Sam really always in the middle of the field.
I don't see
I'm
it.
not sure about the flag, but
if I'm prospects, because that's a huge play right now. They're at the 1 yard line because that was in the end zone, and you're giving them a chance to get back in this game. I did not see the flag there. The guy, when he jumped, he made a little bit of contact, but he was going for the ball all the way. So from the 1 yard line, takes a snap, looks to the back of the end zone, sack again, and that is his 5th sack of the game, and that is going to back them up to the 10 yard line.
I said at the beginning of the game, this is a guy who can run, but he will take sacks. And you definitely don't want to be taking sacks. There, great defense by Reborn Prospects. Everybody's covered, nowhere to go with the football. Take another sack.
And that's the thing. The thing about contact quarterbacks that then transform to flag is they are used to avoiding tackles. So if the guy is not on his hip, ready to hit him, they think they are evading that tackle, but the problem is he's able to get low and snag that flag pretty easily, and that's what happened on every single sack so far. So laser fired in there. They get back to their original spot, or not quite actually. They're at the 5 yard line, so still quite a bit shorter. And reminder that they were not able to run because once you enter red zone, you can no longer leave it even if the rusher's backed up past in front of the end zone.
Yeah, a great play just running the slant on the outside. Take the top off by the slot and just run the slant underneath. Good play. Get some yards back.
And if they are able to get this score, they need a huge stop, and that is a bad.
No.
Oh, poor timing by Grenier Morin. So mistakes are killing this team and killing their hopes still alive for a championship.
At the end of the day, they got 2 downs to score, and you got the onside kick. This is the game. You got 2 downs right here. The game is not over.
Now, that's the question. Do they take the onside kick? But now a question for later. As they drop 2 quarterbacks for the first time.
What a play.
Oh, great throw. Great throw right over the middle. Timing between defenders.
This is why we talk about when you have the double quarterback, you don't move. If you're covering the second quarterback, so in this case the slot, you don't move until the ball's in the air. Because that's exactly what happened. So the nickel, he sees the dropper. He sees the receiver drop. He goes right away, creates the void, and really, really great throw.
And you often talk about the lack of flag awareness from contact quarterbacks that have transferred, but that was great flag awareness. He knew he was going to go take the second quarterback. He knew there was a hole. So takes the snap on first down. Just a missed throw there behind him, and now a 7-point game with 1:56. So now they are calling pro clock, but they went for the convert, so they cannot onside kick.
I think I'm not sure. I think I probably would have went. Look, Reborn is scoring points.
Yeah.
When they don't shoot themselves in the foot, Reborn is scoring points. So I might have just kind of bit the bullet, gone for the onside there, and then tried the 2-point conversion. You would have been down 8 going for the onside. But sorry, I know you would have been down 7. It's okay. So here we go.
The counter argument is also they've been very poor on 1-point converts, so take your chances while you can. And again, that same route on the sideline there, they need to find a mistake for that, because we're essentially in the time period where a first down will all but seal the game for them.
Yeah, it's the half plays inside for a second. They've thrown the ball to the snapper quite a bit, so he's thinking, oh, that snapper's coming to me. I gotta stay home, and then he allows the throw to the outside. Though only a 5-yard game, but he does stay in bounds, and the clock's running.
A running back there fakes the handoff.
Touch. Ooh, you had him. Oh, you had him. Oh, zone read.
Zone read. He had his man. So he had his man, Kevin Joseph, coming over on the post. That being said, I really do like the decision to not throw that. You could miss the throw. You could throw too far. He could drop the ball. Instead, why not take the first down with 1 minute and 10 seconds left, staying in bounds?
Yeah, look, it's a conservative play, but it's probably the right play. And like you said, they're bleeding this clock. A first down here. So the 2 timeouts still by Baby Sharks. I guess they probably took one right now. Yeah. So they take a timeout now. So 1 timeout left and 1st and 10. It's not the best situation. With that said, there's a throw here. They have to throw the football.
They have to.
You got to jump everything.
Yeah.
If they run a double move and they score on you, it doesn't matter. You got to jump everything. I'd play man and jump everything.
You'd almost let them score at a certain point, because they will get that first down. And yeah, there you go. He gives himself up after about 4-yard gain. So
that's it. You just don't want to play off like that in this situation. You got to make them make a tight throw. And so they play their regular cover 3. They've been playing a lot, especially on that side of the field, to the offense's right side of the field. They've been playing a lot of cover 3 like that. Just you gotta play tight. And now, because they threw the ball and got a completion, they can go back in their running back set, run zone read, and keep the ball on the ground and let the clock run.
So they're doing their zone read. Keeps it. There we go. Touchdown! And that is now a 2-score game, which will all but seal it for the Reborn Prospects, as the man who dropped balls earlier in this game drops them not when the situation needs it most. So that is Charles-Émile Dereau with his first touchdown of the game, but not his first important catch, as he comes up huge here for the Reborn Prospects, and a great read.
Yeah, that's a great read. Keeping the center right down the pipe. I like the play call. I like their little zone read package. It's pretty nice. Here comes Trips again. I wonder what play they're going to run.
Yeah, you really wonder with JJ Fortuna in the slot.
Now you have the ISO if you want it. You have the ISO if you want it. He looked over there.
And looks over there initially.
There it is.
And he's got it. And so now
damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah, it's a tough play. It's a tough play.
So in theory, they still do have a timeout, so they can score, get the onside, and then go for 2. Yeah, but that is a tough task.
Yeah, theoretically, I mean, you can score with no time left, really, and get the onside, which would count as an untimed play, and then score on the onside play. Which, hey, it's tough, but stranger things have happened. Trust me.
That is for sure. But let's just hope they know the intricacies of FPF rules, unbeknownst to some. So he takes off running.
That's not great.
And that is not, what makes it worse is that it's not technically a sack, so he can't run on this next play. So all the way deep downfield, he's going to need to take a shot. 20 seconds left. 15 now.
You got to throw it down the field to the, right there in the middle of the field. Oh, boy.
And what a pick.
What a play.
Oh.
He dropped it, but what a play, though.
That was a great ball. That was a great
ball. Oh, man.
just a little bit late.
So there's 8.7 seconds left on the official. It says 1 second here on your screen, but there it is. 8.7 seconds left. Basically, you gotta throw. What I would do right now is try and throw to the sideline, and get about 20 yards down the field. Sideline step out of bounds. Get one more play on this drive, and then go onside. I think that's where it needs to be. We'll see, but a good setup defensively by Reborn Prospects. You don't want to throw that.
Gets deep and pass defended. 5 seconds left on the clock here. So they're saying 6 on the official. So right now they get maybe 2, but that is this third down or fourth down? This is fourth down right here. So you don't get any more plays. This is the game unless somehow, some miracle, you get a 4-second play to the sideline for a first down.
So Reborn, what they've done the last 2 plays is play their flat defenders or their nickels really close to the sideline, because that's the only play you have. Is you got to throw to the sideline and that's it. So you're not ready with the clock. It's not a play. You basically have to throw to your outside wide receiver right now. Like, you got to catch the snap and throw it to outside receiver and let him go out of bounds. He's not going to do that. They're just going to end the game right there. All right.
And that is the championship.
That's it.
And there we go. The Reborn Prospects have won the championship for Division 5A with a stunning performance by Cliff G. Solon. And he will surely win the MVP. He is definitely our pick.
I think this was just a really good game by Reborn Prospects, and the quarterback really, besides the one mistake on the interception in the first half, like a incredibly clean game. Did not throw the ball into dangerous areas at all. Took what the defense gave him, ran when he had to, and then of course made a bunch of plays on defense. Not even that he made a bunch of plays on the ball. We're talking about Sam Mombo. Not even that he made a bunch of plays on the ball, though he did make a couple, especially late in the game. His presence over the middle of the field really kind of condensed what Baby Sharks wanted to do on offense.
100%.
That's it's one of those things where it's maybe he doesn't show up in the stats. Only a couple passes defended, but them never throwing over the middle of the field and forcing them to play wide the whole game to the sideline the whole game is really what kind of clamped down on that offense.
Yeah, and forcing, playing corner locks the entire game was just so detrimental to the game plan that the Baby Sharks have had all season and the game plan that they had coming in, because the reality is, the Reborn Prospects had the athletes to go man-to-man with them all game on the outside. They had nothing on the outside all game. And when they did try to go for the seams and they allowed those the outside receivers, the wide receivers, to stay short, the corners would stay short with those wide receivers, and the seams could both be taken away simultaneously by Omombo, who, again, he didn't necessarily get the stats on defense, but his impact was felt.
Yeah, and that's why it's a rusher interception. That'll win you an MVP, I'm sure. However, I think Sam is the key to this whole operation, to the whole season, finishing with only 3 losses, and I guess now it's 14 games, so 11-3, I guess that would be in their kind of final record. A great season by Baby Sharks, but a big win, a big championship for Prospect Reborn.
Yeah, and really what it came down to was Reborn Prospects knew what they had to do to win. Baby Sharks, it didn't seem like they were able to adjust from their game plan. And, it's adapt to survive, and that's what they did.
I would imagine that Baby Sharks had a lot of opportunities during the season to make plays on the outside, deep. That didn't happen. They were kind of clamped down on the outside, deeper down the field, and you saw what happened.
Yeah, and so thank you very much, guys. We're going to turn our attention back to the field. This was Neil Wright and Seth Galena here with Flag Plus Football. Here we're going to look at Reborn Prospects seeing the championship.
Our Division 5B champs, Reborn Prospects right here. Can I get Captain? Let me get the captain, Nathaniel Dinku, for a quick interview. Nathaniel, a lot of familiar faces on this team. I see Jeff, I see Gucci, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
How does it feel right now to be an FPF champion?
It feels amazing. We worked hard, you know. That's what we were working for. It feels good.
Love you with your boys. And we got an MVP for this game that's normally an offensive player, even though Gucci had a great game. Let's get Cliff G. Solo over here. Hey, you did one of the great things in flag football, the pick six from the rusher. Tell me how it felt.
It felt great, man. It felt great. I had my back for my team. You know, I did what I had to do. And we got the dub, man. We trust the process.
Hey, unbelievable game. Offense played great. Defense played great. We got our Division 5A champs, Reborn Prospects. Back to you in the booth.
So we just saw the MVP, the finals MVP, presented to none other than Cliff G. Solon, which was our call for MVP. Honestly, he didn't have to do much other than get a pick six as a rusher to earn that title.
And about
but
5
he did.
sacks, too.
But he did. He went and he got 5 sacks for the rest of the game. So what was really his impact on today's game?
Well, look, they won by 2 scores. Mm-hmm. 1 score is a pick six. Like if it's a very different game if at the last drive that Baby Sharks have, it's only a 1-score game. Instead of a 2-score game, they think the game's over. They don't, they try and score a touchdown, but they kind of concede at the end. If it's a 1-score game because you don't have a pick six, or if that pick six by the rusher on that drive, he doesn't catch it, Baby Sharks keep the ball, they go down the field and score. Like, it's a completely different game, and that is the turning point of the game. Anytime you get a rusher pick six, that is probably the turning point of a flag football game.
I don't know if we'll ever see that again, a rusher pick six. But that being said, it was also the mistakes that happened for Baby Sharks. They had some missed throws on some wide open out routes. The first pick was definitely a difficult one. You can't really call that one a mistake. He was trying to go over his head. Perfectly timed jump to get that pick six. But there were a lot of mistakes that really plagued their opportunities at this game.
Well, we can talk about the first drive. They get down to the red zone on the first drive. Can't punch the ball in. Certainly they got it back with the interception a couple drives later, but really starting the game off kind of on the back foot. You lose the toss. You take the ball to start. You're thinking, okay, well, whatever, it's fine. We're just going to go down the field and score. You go down the field. You don't fulfill the second part of that, and you don't score. And that's the game.
All right. Well, that was the championship finals between the Reborn Prospects and the Baby Sharks. Reborn Prospects coming out on top 33-19. Again, this was Neil Wright and Seth Galina here calling the Division 5A championships. We'll be right back with you for Division 6.